be a source of political instability. One analyst predicts it hardly has an impact on Philippine equities. According to AP Securities research head Alfred Garcia, market movement won't likely be disrupted amid the drama surrounding the Vice President's impeachment trial unless widespread protests erupt. And checking on the markets this Wednesday, the Philippine Stock Exchange opens higher by nearly 0.2% at 6,359, with the PSEI dropping yesterday Tuesday by 0.9%, with all sectoral indices closing lower. Meanwhile, the Philippine peso opens today slightly stronger at 55.80 to the dollar. The peso closed a tad weaker at 55.83 against the greenback. With us now for more is Japhet Tantiangco, Research Manager at Philstocks Financial. Good to have you back on. Japhet, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Ma'am Kathy. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so how are you gauging market action and reaction at the get-go following the developments at the Senate and developments in the U.S.-China trade talks?
Well, the local market opened in the positive territory, and this can be attributed to the positive spillovers from the U.S. markets caused by the consensus that the U.S. and China have reached in their talks in London. However, if you're going to notice, yes, the market is in positive territory or is in green, but it's fighting hard for those gains. And this could be because some way, somehow, the political uncertainties are weighing on the local market.
Fighting for those gains, as you mentioned, but this impeachment episode's been running for quite some time now. So why the investor concern?
Okay. With respect to the with respect to this impeachment episode, it somehow caused doubts from an investor standpoint. I mean, three things. Number one, the impeachment episode has already been running for quite some time. And with the latest developments, seemingly it's going to be prolonged further. This puts the efficiency of the Congress into question. I mean, how fast can they move with respect to decision making? Number two, if you're going to look at the proceedings, somehow it's highlighting the political divisions, which in turn is of course a source of political uncertainty. And finally, of course, this has opportunity cost. I mean, Congress could be or should be looking into other things such as creating policies that would be more significant to economic progress and development. But they are preoccupied by this one, so it produces opportunity cost, and all of these combined, it somehow causes doubts on the part of investors.
Okay, opportunity costs then. So what policies then might be derailed because of what's going on?
Well, policies that would again be more significant towards economic progress, towards economic development, strengthening the industrial sector, structural changes that are needed by the economy, making a dent on poverty as well as on the things that could help like education and health. So those are the things, and of course, making the Philippines more investment friendly. So these are the things that could have been paid more attention to or more focus on, but currently we are preoccupied with the impeachment proceedings.
Talk to us about pricing risk at this stage, because there's a lot of moving parts there. What is the market pricing in now? The trial and verdict will happen. Is that what they're pricing in, that it may be further delayed or will just fade away?
Well, for now, I believe that the market is pricing in a delay, given the ongoings in the Congress, in particular with the Senate. But at the same time, of course, the market is also pricing in other factors. I mean, as mentioned a while ago, there's still the positive development offshore, which is the progress on U.S.-China trade talks. And so, of course, there are other factors out there, like the possible rate cut by the BSP. So these are things that investors are currently taking into consideration right now. Going back to the impeachment proceedings, if this gets protracted, and if it causes further division, um, then it's expected to cause more uncertainties, and that in turn is going to further weigh on the local market.
But then there is that Bangko Sentral rate decision coming up on June 19th. Could that be
Yes,
a positive
yes.
event risk for the markets?
Well, with respect to the BSP, I believe ever since the inflation data came out, and it was good, so that 1.3%, it already triggered expectations that the BSP is going to cut policy rates in their upcoming meeting. And I believe this is already being priced in by investors. So moving forward, what investors will really be watching out for in the BSP's upcoming policy meeting, more than the rate cut itself, would be the BSP's policy direction. How much more rate cuts can they do for the local economy? Can they go more aggressive? If so, then that could, be a positive factor that could push the local market upward.
Okay, before we wrap, just a quick check. Still hanging on to those gains, or has it fallen into the negative in terms of the PSEI, Japhet?
Well, I mean, if you're going to look at, okay, the local market right now currently at up by 0.12%. So still hanging on to those
All
gains.
right, we'll check back at the end of trade today. Thank you so much for the context and analysis, Japhet Tantiangco of Philstocks Financial.